Shalom, 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 Israel. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, for blessing me with the spirit to do this video. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the chosen people of the Most High, the children of Israel. You and only you. And all these things are happening throughout America and throughout all the world because the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, is fighting for you. Don't think that the Most High doesn't hear your prayers. Don't think that the Most High doesn't see what y'all or what we are going through. But He's only fighting for His elect. Because a lot of our people, man, are wicked. A lot of our people want to be down with the wicked. Who is the wicked? The so-called white man, Esau, Edom, and all these so-called white people that's throughout this world. They are known as the wicked. And the Most High said, do not deal with them. Do not join unto them. And a lot of our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, want and love to do that. But I want to bring out this video because, like it says up here, biblical signs are happening everywhere. And that's the truth, man. Everything goes back to the Holy Scriptures, man. Everything, man. Let me get this real quick. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 15. That which have been is now. So, all of these things that you see going on in the earth right now, these happened already. It's history playing itself, right? And that which is to be have already been. So these things have already happened, man. It may seem new to us, but even you happened before. Reincarnation is spoken of in the Bible, man. Everything is planned over. Everything is planned over. And it says, and the Most High power requireth that which is past, man. So the Most High requires of these things. That's why they are happening. Don't think for once this is the first time these things have happened, man. You can't remember it. You can't remember past lives, man. We can't remember things that happened so far away. Everything that we see is all we need to see. We don't need to think above what we can, man. All we need to do is come back to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, keep these law, statutes, and commandments, pray to the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah, do what He told us, man. So that way ye may escape in the time of the Lord's anger. And this is only a little snippet. I said snippet. This is only a little bit of the Most High's power, man. Less than a little bit. So, hopefully this be edifying to the elect. Shalom, Israel.
Earthquake. Big earthquake at 4 o'clock.
Now that is video from Fresno of the shaking felt there. Fresno is across the Sierra Nevada from the epicenter.
Though the coronavirus pandemic was relatively slow to hit many developing countries, the World Food Program warns the outbreak could cause widespread famines of biblical proportions.
Now to Kenya, where a second wave of desert locusts has descended on East Africa. Estimates indicate that it will be 20 times worse than the swarms that made their way through the region 2 months ago. The UN says the locusts present an unprecedented threat to food security and livelihoods.
And the first point I want to touch on was the earthquakes, man. It's a lot of earthquakes going on in the world, and they're not reporting them. You know, going on every day. They're not reporting them. You know? The Most High brought earthquakes in past time, man. You know? This is Luke chapter 21, verse 11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, man. Now, I believe that one was in Nevada. I'm not pretty sure that they get earthquakes like that. You had earthquakes sometimes in New York. You had earthquakes in California. You know? Those are diverse places, man. Earthquakes don't usually happen in those places, man. Especially not New York. You know? So the Most High is showing you that prophecy is happening. And it ain't gonna be nothing that anybody could do to stop prophecy, man. You know? And it says, and famines, because that famine is coming. And this is a famine. This is gonna cause a famine. Out here in the Middle East, man. All these locusts, what locusts do is they jump on your crops, your vegetables, your fruit, and they eat it up, man. They devour it. Therefore, you got millions of or thousands of pounds of crops out there. The locusts eat them all up. Now, you ain't got nothing to eat. So now the famine comes, man. You know? And pestilence, diseases, man. Coronavirus, swine's flu, Ebola. You know? West Nile. All these flesh-eating diseases out here. They got diseases you don't even know what they are. They can't name them. They can't tell you where it come from. That's the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua doing that, man. Bringing hell upon this land. And it's going to continue to happen. And fearful sights. Hey, this is a fearful sight, man. An earthquake is a fearful sight, man. Seeing billions of locusts is a fearful sight, man. You know? When I first seen this, I thought it was a dust cloud, man. But when I seen the locusts, I'm like, yo, that's all locusts. That's a fearful sight. That's something you don't see every day. You know? It says, and great signs shall there be from heaven, man. Because all this comes from Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All of this comes from Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. Come from the heavens.
But now the World Food Program analysis shows also, due to the coronavirus, that an additional 130 million people could be pushed to the brink of starvation by the end of 2020. That's a total of 265 million.
That's the famine, man. Shortage of food, man. And you know what happens when people don't eat, man, or they hungry. They liable to do anything, man. They're gonna look to the people who got food. And they're gonna do whatever means necessary, whatever they can do to get that food. That's what they're gonna do, man. People go crazy when they can't eat, when they can't drink. You know? That's what's coming to America, man. Why? Because Yahweh Shem Yahushua said so, man. There ain't nothing you can do to stop it.
Million people.
The locusts, billions of them have devoured hundreds of hectares of crops across the region, hitting countries with already delicate food situations. Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda have so far been affected by the swarms.
Well, the second wave is mainly locusts which have bred now, which are breeding now in Ethiopia and Kenya, which are not their usual breeding grounds. And this is because, especially over the past few months, there have been heavy rains here outside the normal rainy season, and that has basically created the perfect breeding ground for locusts.
But experts say this won't be enough. The insects are breeding so fast, their numbers could multiply by 500 in just a few months. The UN is calling on the international community to help.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. And these damn Hamites, these so-called Africans, these Cushites, these Hamites, these Egyptians, this is happening over there. Why? Because of what they did to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans throughout history, man. You know? We are not Africans. We are Israelites. We are Jews. That's who we are. We are the chosen people of the Most High, the children of Israel. That's who we are.
Saying it needs more than $70 million to fund what it calls a rapid response to stop the bugs.
Hey man, ain't nothing they can do to stop the bugs. The Most High brought the bugs. The Most High the only one that can stop the bugs. You can call whoever you want to call, man. You can. This is Deuteronomy 28:38. Thou shalt carry much seed out unto the field. You know, to bring in the crops, man. You plant the seeds and the crops grow out, right? And shall gather but little in, man. Why you gonna gather a little in, man? For the locusts have consumed it. The locusts consumed the crops. That's what those were. Locusts, man. Everything is in the scriptures, man. Everything.
This is the first super cyclone forming over the Bay of Bengal in more than 20 years.
And destroying homes by the hundreds. Pounding India's eastern coastline, the strongest cyclone in over a decade. Winds reached 100 miles per hour, knocking down trees and damaging metal roofs.
It was the strongest tropical storm on record as it tracked north through the Bay of Bengal with wind speeds of 270 miles an hour. But they were barely half that by the time the vortex made landfall close to the border of Bangladesh and India. Scientists believe the record sea temperatures that fueled the storm may have been caused in part by more sunlight filtering through pollution-free skies.
You see, these Edomites, man, all these other nations, they feel like they got answers for all of these things that's happening, man. They don't have no answers, man. This is beyond the way they think, man. This is so high above how they think, man. They can't even comprehend. They just put anything up, man. I wonder how long it took that Edomite, because he sound like a British, and he not even the real British, man. He's an Edomite, man. And he trying to figure out, he probably took a whole day to come up with that, man. The reason why this is happening, man. But he wrong. This is of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, man. And you're not going to know. You're not going to get it why it's happening, man. But us, the men of the Lord, we know why this is happening, man. It's time for this place to go down, man. This whole earth, this kingdom is wicked, man. You know? People are wicked, man. What you did to the Most High's chosen people, you got to pay for that, man. It's time to pay up. It's time to pay up. You think you was going to get rich off of the backs of the slaves, the niggers, the spicks? You thought you was going to get rich and just prosper? No. The Most High said He's going to bring you down. And that's what He's doing right now. He's crippling Your society's crippling your economy. Everything, man. It's only going to get worse, man.
During the pandemic lockdown,
Howling winds and driving rain. Cyclone Amphan unleashed its formidable force as it made landfall. In neighboring Bangladesh, riverbanks overflowed. And neighboring Bangladesh are bearing the brunt of the cyclone. With wind gusts of up to 190 kilometers per hour, the storm is the strongest to hit the area in over a decade.
climate change is fueling superstorms. The sea temperature in the Bay of Bengal reached 34 degrees in the first 2 weeks of May. The energy from such warm water whips up the wind speed. Strong storms are increasing by 8% a decade. Rising temperatures also increase rainfall from storms. Research suggests it will surge by 20% in the coming decades. The new normal of climate change will make poorer countries even more vulnerable to other emergencies such as pandemics.
This is a clear view of what happens when two crises come together.
Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 37. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. Yeah, because people bugging out, they scared, man. Verse 38. And then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and from another part from the west, man. So it's going to be storms all over, man. You're not going to be able to run from these storms, man. And these people, these are all heathen nations, man. Bangladesh, the damn Elamites, man. The East Indians, man. They had us in slavery. The damn Hamites, the so-called Africans, they had us in slavery, man. You know? So this is happening all in their where they dwell at, man. The Most High is bringing that wrath on them, man. And this dude, he said, Amir Tarsfadi said, if 2020 hasn't provided enough biblical proportion phenomena, take a look at this sandstorm in Egypt today, man. And this is where we was in captivity at, man. You know? So the Most High ain't playing with you other nations, man. Why? Because you raped, robbed, you all had your part in bringing the children of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans down, man. Y'all all played a part in it, man. Y'all all killed us, raped us, murdered us, man. Robbed us. Y'all all helped to keep us from who we are, man. Y'all all played a part in it. So now y'all all gotta face the wrath of the Most High, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man.
Egypt has never seen such a storm in over 2 decades. The last time a similar storm has hit was in 1994. Adel Mahroui, CGTN.
Egypt's sunshine vanished, and Cairo's heavy traffic disappeared, and the government has advised citizens to remain at home as the toughest storm in decades hit. Sandstorms from the south are colliding with thunderstorms from the north. These extreme weather conditions.
You see, just like I wrote, man, there'll be storms from the south, from the north, and parts of the west, man. All over, man. You can't tell me this Bible ain't real, man. You can't tell me that.
Will continue until then.
Wild weather has blasted parts of the country's south and southeast and bringing powerful winds and a blanket of hail to backyards. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Roofs have been torn from dozens of homes as a freak storm smashed Geelong's southern suburbs. Up to 60 properties were damaged, with weather experts investigating if it was a tornado.
From a distance, it looks like a scene from a Hollywood disaster movie. But this is Warren Ponds, torn apart by a storm no one saw coming. Up to 60 homes slammed in minutes.
It all happened so fast and it was like a bit of a disbelief. Is this a dream sort of thing?
Good evening. WA is on high alert tonight as an out-of-season cyclone looms off our coast, set to power a once-in-a-decade storm across the state.
As we head into the first weekend of open borders between Perth and the southwest, drivers are being warned to reconsider travelling because a once-in-a-decade superstorm is bearing down. Winds up to 130 kilometres an hour and 100 millimetres of rain are forecast as it hits most of the state.
The remains of a cyclone and a cold front collide. Perth's only seen a storm like this twice in 26 years. Destructive and widespread. It's due to hit on Sunday. The danger zone is where the two systems meet and the location's difficult to predict. Expect gusts up to 130 kilometres an hour, up to 100 mils of rain, waves towering more than 8 metres high.
Let's bring in Shirley.
Con, 2nd Ezra, I'm going to read that from the top again. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 37. And there shall be great fearfulness and trembling upon the earth. And they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them. And then shall there come great storms from the south, and from the north, and from other parts of the west. A strong wind shall arise from the east, and shall open it. And the cloud which he raised up in wrath, that cloud, what is that? That tornado, that spinning tornado you just seen, man. That's the Lord's wrath. And the star stirred to cause fear toward the east, and west wind shall be destroyed. Verse 40. The great and mighty clouds shall be lifted up full of wrath, and the star, that they may make all the earth afraid, and them that dwell therein. And they shall pour out every high and eminent place a horrible star, man. You know? So these people going to be afraid, man, in that day. In this day, people don't know what's going on, man. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is what's going on. You know? He having the angels pour out their wrath, man. Ultimately, it's the wrath of the Most High, man. You know?
Biggs and Sherry, why is this unusual for this time of year?
Well, usually, Trace, we'd be experiencing the humble winter cold front at this time of year. Instead, we're dealing with an out-of-season cyclone. The last time we saw a cyclone in Western waters this late in May was back in 1981.
se enterraban con una pinche granizada.
Now these things, that's what you just seen dropping, man. This thing is huge, man. If this thing hits you, man, it's gonna more likely knock you out, probably kill you, man. Look at the spikes. You know, look at that, man. Somebody said it looked like the coronavirus thing. Yeah, hailstones, right? This is verse 41. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 41. Fire and hail and flying swords and many waters, that all fields may be full, and all rivers with abundance of great waters. And they shall break down the cities and walls, because them things break down windows, they break down, some of them come out bigger than that, man. They bust out your car windows, you know what I mean, mess your car, mess your house up, man. You know, mountains and hills, trees of wood and grass of the meadows and their corn. You know? That's crazy, man. You can't tell me the Bible ain't real, man. The Most High word shall not come back void, man. Verse 43, and it said, and they shall go steadfastly unto Babylon. Where's Babylon? America, man. America is Babylon, man. You know? And make her afraid, man. So everybody gonna be afraid in Babylon when they see these things happening, man. They're not gonna know what's going on. But yet they want to have an answer. They don't got an answer, man.
Estos medios son páginas pelota de tenis. Está de la chingada. Aquí nos recordamos arriba.
Look at that, man. That's like a baseball, man. You know, bigger than a baseball, man. You telling me that thing coming from the heavens, man, hit your window, ain't gonna break it? You know? Come on, man. If you look back in the old, well, this happened in ancient Egypt, man, with the hail, man, that came in the fire. You know? They got the fire that was burning out there in Australia, man. That was burning for months. They took it off the air, man, so people would think that it's over. It ain't over, man. The Most High gonna bring something else over there. Because a lot of you damn Edomites, man, all you other nations that destroyed the children of Israel, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, y'all gotta pay for what y'all did, man. We paying for what we did. What makes y'all think y'all not gonna pay for what y'all did? It said hailstones that look like coronavirus are seen as a sign from God to stay home during the pandemic by locals in Mexico, man. Hey, man. They telling you to stay in the house because if you come outside, you get hit with one of them things, man. Hey, that's your death, man. You know?
These were tweeted out by the Nevada Highway Patrol with some deep cracks there.
Yeah, kind of like ridge cracks.
Oh, yes. Well, overnight, the 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck just west of Tonopah. A researcher says it was the largest quake in the state in 65 years. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
A 6.5 magnitude earthquake sent waves through Tonopah.
I mean, it shook my house, it shook the walls.
This morning, Highway 95, the main road between Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, is closed.
Wow.
You can see why. While authorities assess the damage from the earthquake to this major highway.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, man. All these are the beginning of sorrows, man. This is just the beginning, man. Earthquakes, man. All over. Earthquakes happening all over, man. You know?
The local sheriff's office gave us this footage. 20 miles of 95 are shut down right now, and that is the main route between Reno and Vegas. The main quake was followed by several powerful aftershocks, including a 5.1 less than a half an hour after the main event.
The quake was only a mile and a half deep into the Earth's surface. One resident said he'd never felt anything like it.
Actually, I was laying in bed, wide awake, and I felt it. It seemed to last about 20 seconds. It was pretty violent.
So many reports. We felt it in the newsroom. 403, the lights started shaking here in our newsroom, and we knew right away. It's just like, let's get on the USGS website.
I was just in my room in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and the room started shaking, and my windows have kind of like stick blinds on it. They started clicking against the windows.
See the fearfulness, man? You see this, man? Fearful, man. These other nations is finished, man. The Most High tired of these other nations, man. They've been getting over on his chosen people for the longest, man. They think they safe. They think they safe, man. Like, you know how much death is going to come on this place, man? For what these nations did to the chosen people of the Most High, man? These other nations, they don't get it, man. They don't understand. They don't believe. This is why they continuously do this stuff to us, man. And you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, you better get away from these nations, man. You better stop dealing with these other nations. Because the Most High coming for them, man. He coming for them, man. And when he send our Hamashiach back, Yahweh Shai, man, when he cracked that sky, something you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans don't believe. But when he does that, man, a lot of y'all gonna be put to death too. You know? A lot of y'all gonna be put to death, man. Right along with these other nations, man. Psalms chapter 11, verse 6. Upon the wicked he shall rain snares, fire, and brimstone, and an horrible tempest, man. This shall be the portion of their cup, man. All these other nations, this is a portion of their cup, man. This is not even the whole cup, man. They're going to get paid back for everything they done to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rukal Kadash. Shalom, Israel. Stay strong. We almost out of here.